everyone, my name is Megan Cosplay, and today I'm going to talk about how cosplay has been affected by COVID-19. So unless you already live a very isolated life, you would know that we have been in quarantine for approximately a year now. Some places it's a little bit more, some places it's a little bit less, depending on how your region or country dealt with the pandemic. At least in Canada, we're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel quite yet. Vaccines have started to roll out, but they're slow. It has been a very long and difficult year. We have to make sure to keep our distance. We're not allowed to see our friends regularly, and we have to even keep away from family who might be vulnerable to this respiratory illness, this virus that is circulating. Everyone has been feeling the impact about it. Now, I want to look at specifically cosplay. As a cosplayer, I look forward to the local cons and the cons that I like to travel to every year. It's one of the highlights I have. It's those couple of weekends that I can just go away and dress up and hang out with friends and just do whatever I want and not have to worry about general life. So, not having these events to go to has been really hard and kind of depressing. Actually, very depressing. And it's even more depressing because 2021 is not looking much better. I think that the next con I'll be seeing is, if we're lucky, 2022. Of course, because we don't have any social environments that we can interact with and showcase our costumes, cosplayers have gone online completely. I mean, we were always online before, but this is now our only outlet. And so we've been taking advantage of the fact that we have these different apps and different social media platforms to really expand our reach and to try to connect with people and connect with other cosplayers. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, everything shut down except for the essential things like grocery stores and gas stations and that kind of stuff. This also included my workplace. I'm a teacher, and so schools were shut down. Now, of course, I'm just like the students. When school shuts down, I'm kind of like, oh wow, I have all kinds of free time now. I can work on me stuff. I can do me projects. And so I had gotten down to crafting for like the first 2-3 weeks, and I was really motivated to do projects. And I feel like that was relatable for a lot of cosplayers whose school/work were canceled for a good month or two. It's always nice to have surprise vacation. However, time went on, the pandemic didn't lift up, things kept getting worse, and we were still stuck at home. Things got really depressing, and motivation to do crafting tanked. Again, this is me personally. One thing that I did notice though is that during this time when all of the stores were closed, cosplayers had to become really creative with either using their own fabric and materials from their stash or ordering online. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to order fabric online, but ordering fabric online is really, really annoying. So one thing that the pandemic did in terms of crafting was it forced us to be a little bit more creative with how we use our materials. For instance, I ran out of interfacing, but I had some fabric that was pretty stiff that I got for free that I didn't really plan to use for anything. So I ended up using that as an interliner instead of interfacing my garments. It worked. I mean, it did the job I needed to, give it some structure, and that solved my problem. Of course, I ran into the problem again when I ran out of that fabric. But by then my interfacing that I ordered from AliExpress came in and I was good to go. I personally had a couple of quarantine projects that I made based on my stash, and I only had to order like a few things like notions and whatnot. There was one costume that I made that required me to order a wig, but aside from that I pretty much already had all of the wigs and all of the accessory stuff that I could use. I had paints and clay and all that kind of stuff to work on my stuff. One thing that I also noticed was that there was a large boom of virtual groups or online collaborations. This started through TikTok. TikTok is a video sharing platform, social media thing, and a lot of cosplayers like to use it so that they can be in character and showcase their performance part, the play part, if you will, of cosplay. Now, on TikTok, you can duet videos. So people would find audios that would fit their characters, and then they would invite friends and other people who cosplay from the same series to duet with them so that it was like a little bit of an interaction safely. I've participated in a couple of duets myself. There's also been some challenges, such as the Pass the Brush challenge. That one was really popular, and I've seen so many people do it. In fact, I'm part of a group right now that are planning to do another one this summer. So it's really fun. It allows you to get together with people that you normally wouldn't meet in a convention setting because these people are from halfway across the continent or halfway across the world. Now, there have also been a couple of virtual cosplay groups. I'm part of a couple of dance groups, and one of them happens to be a virtual idol group. Now, it's really interesting because even though we are separate and distanced, we can still film our dancing at home, and then through video editing, we can combine the videos together so that we can make one cohesive dance video. It's pretty fun. One of the things that I noticed that helped with these collaborations were the sudden boom of cosplay Discord servers. Now, this could be just me being late to the party, but Discord kind of became a big thing, at least again, for me. Discord is a really great platform to be able to reach out to people and communicate. I've joined a couple of cosplayer servers, and in the servers there are different channels. You can talk about crafting, you can talk about wig styling, you can talk about exercise and food and pets and random stuff. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that you can talk about. I'm not particularly active in these groups, but I do like to go in and see what people are working on, and that helps inspire me to work on my own personal projects. Discord has also been a place where people have hosted online virtual conventions. This is a pretty new concept. At least I think it's a pretty new concept because conventions normally happen in person. But when we have this online platform, that means that anyone can participate. And a lot of these online conventions were free. Some people would use Twitch to stream all their panels, and then they would use Discord as like a vendor's hall or an artist alley, that kind of thing, to link to all the different sellers. I actually attended a couple of virtual cons, and even though it didn't feel the same as a normal convention, it helped fill in that gap for me. It helped me feel a little bit more connected to the community, and it helped me feel good about being a cosplayer and seeing all these other awesome costumes that people have made, particularly watching the costume contests. That's another thing. There are online costume contests that have been happening as well, varying from event organized to people just organizing costume contests on their own. And the great thing about this is that people from all over the world can participate. I myself participated in Otacon's cosplay contest, when normally I wouldn't even be able to attend Otacon. Now, as cosplayers, we like to showcase our work, and oftentimes we do that through photography or video. And then we share these on our social media platforms, whether it is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and recently for me, TikTok. Self-shooting has become really, really big recently. And that's mostly because we can't go out and meet people to take photos of us. You know, unless you have organized like a safe social distance shoot outside, which, I mean, works when you have nice weather out. But if you're like me and you live in Canada, most of the year is pretty cold. So a lot of the times when we do shoots, it has to be indoors. Of course, being indoors, there's problems, right? You don't necessarily have access to good lighting, you don't necessarily have a nice backdrop, but people have gotten really creative with self-shooting. Now, me personally, I got myself a couple of things that help me with self-shooting. I got myself a backdrop like you can see here. I got myself some lights, the backdrop stand, and I even added the fairy lights that you see in the back. So I've been doing a lot of self-shooting, self-photography. So I've had to learn how to do basic photo editing as well. Now, I also participated in a couple of safe, social distanced pool shoots, which is really interesting. My first time doing an official swimming pool shoot underwater. That was an experience, let me tell you, and I'm so excited for next year to do it again. So that was a good time for me to get together with a couple of friends, and we just take photos of each other, and we made sure that everyone was safe in the water and that we were all distanced and we were wearing our masks if needed, and we were outside. So we played it pretty safe. And that was really nice. Cosplay for me, it's such a social thing, and I have really missed that aspect of cosplaying. So overall, the pandemic really affected me personally as a cosplayer, and I feel like it affected a lot of people as well. I wasn't able to craft the things that I wanted to craft this year. I was forced to become more creative with using the stuff that I already had, use it with the resources that I already had. I had to become resourceful in doing self-photography and self-video, and I also had to rely heavily on social media platforms to reach out and connect with other people and cosplayers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you want, follow me, check out some other videos, and I will see you next time.